Good morning, everybody. I needed the big mug this morning. My goodness, so much news coming in. I want to thank everyone who sent me the link to the Chelmsford Temple Farms, business status. And thank you to all of you who are sending me all this news and information. I really appreciate it. And I want to mention that Ugly Watchtower, thank you so much for a brilliant video. Now I'm going to put the link down below. I recommend all of you go watch it, because that business website in the UK, she did a great job on finding and investigating all of this. And this is being hidden by Jehovah's Witnesses, and that's why the title. I've got a lot of things here that are being hidden from Jehovah's Witnesses. How many British Jehovah's Witnesses think that Chelmsford, they paid for it? What about all Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide? They think they're paying for these media centers, these Bethel branches, Kingdom Halls. They're paying for all of this. And I don't want to give too much away, because I want you to go watch her video, because she's got screenshots and everything. I got to ask, where is that money, that donated money, those millions of pounds that were donated for that Temple Farms? Where did it go? I don't know. But I've got something to read here. Got the Proclaimer's book. Let's go over to page 340, chapter 21. How is it all financed? I'm going to start at the first paragraph. It is obvious that the work carried on by Jehovah's Witnesses requires money. Building Kingdom Halls, assembly halls, branch offices, factories, Bethel homes involves money, and more is needed to maintain them. Expenses are also incurred in publishing and distributing literature for Bible study. But we know this is no longer true. How is all of this financed? Unfounded speculations regarding this have been publicized by persons who oppose the work of Jehovah's Witnesses. All of us activists. But a review of the evidence supports the answer that witnesses themselves give, meaning their donations. What is that? Most of the work is done by volunteers who neither expect nor desire financial return for their services, and organizational expenses are met by voluntary donations. Now think about what they have printed in black and white. Seats free, no collections. This is the next subheading. As early as the second issue of the Watchtower in August of 1879, Brother Russell stated, "Zion's Watchtower has, we believe, Jehovah for its backer, and while this is the case, it will never beg nor petition men for support." Now we know that's no longer true, because every fall they are begging in their magazines for donations. When he who says, "All the gold and silver of the mountains are mine," Jehovah, fails to provide necessary funds, we will understand it to be time to suspend the publication. See, and they've suspended the publications, basically. They only have a couple of, 3 watchtowers a year? 3 awakes a year now? Consistent with that, there is no begging for money in the literature of Jehovah's Witnesses. Your nose is growing. What is true of their literature is also true of their meetings. There are no emotional appeals for funds in their congregations or at their conventions. Brothers, we have a shortage we need at least $12,000, to pay for our assembly here. And right now, we only have $5,000. How is that not an emotional appeal? No collection plates are passed, no envelopes in which to put money, but they do put up contribution boxes. Are distributed. No letters of solicitation are sent to congregation members. What about your elders letter asking for like the Global Assistance Fund every year? Isn't that a letter sent to the congregations? So I thought this was interesting. And then over on page 341, there's a little box. God does not beg. About halfway down. It gives a quote from the scriptures in Psalms 50, verse 12, 9, and 10. And he who said, and it does the quote, and it says, is able to carry on his great work without begging for funds, either from the world or from his children. Now, I view begging as also asking. So if you're asking for funds from the world and from the children of God, neither will compel his children to sacrifice anything in his service, nor will he accept anything from them short of a cheerful free will offering. Zion's Watchtower, September 1886, page 6. What a bunch of hypocrites. Now, the reason I bring this up is, like I said, I don't want to give it away, but go watch Ugly Watchtower's video. Brilliant, brilliant what she did. And it was great for someone from the UK because they understood all of these codes and laws and stuff better than like we could. So this was a great job. Thank you, sweetie. We appreciate it. And I would like to see us share it everywhere and for it to go viral, because this is hidden from the Jehovah's Witnesses. They think voluntary donations are paying for all of these buildings. And all I'm going to say is, according to what I just read in the Proclaimer's book, if you have to ask worldly banks for money, for mortgages, for all of these buildings, where are the donations and where are they going? A lot of questions. A lot of questions. Now, thank you to our source and dear friend, also in the Proclaimer's book here. This time we're going to go to page 232. And there's some pictures here. Oh yeah, this is another good one. And he asked a good question. Would you entice a child with a toy and then never let them play with it? Now think about that. Then why entice the congregation with a book they can never read? Now, I've even heard Jehovah's Witnesses say there is no secret elder's manual. They don't have a book like that. Everything that's in that book can be found in a watchtower. No. No. He goes on. The Elder's Manual is in plain sight on page 232 in the Proclaimer's book, yet forbidden to the congregation. So any Jehovah Witness that says there is no secret Elder's Manual, have them go to their own Proclaimer's book, page 232, in that picture. The lower right-hand corner of that page. Picture of the Elder's book of what it looked like back in the 90s. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Why show a book that the congregation can't read? Another good point. Now, I want to thank Laura and the Australian activist group. Thank you so much, guys. My goodness, this is some great information. Now, I'm going to put the link down below to this article in Australia. Now, we know Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower has not joined the redress scheme yet. And I just want to highlight a few things in this article. Child abuse survivors left in limbo as organizations stall on national redress scheme. And then it talks about 700 survivors of child sexual abuse who have applied through the National Redress and Compensation Scheme remain in limbo because the organizations they named have not signed up to the program. A national redress scheme was set up in response to the scale of abuse uncovered through the Royal Commission into Australian institutions. And we know Jehovah's Witnesses, aka Watchtower, was one of them. The federal government encouraged survivors to make an application to the scheme, which offers counseling, help in securing a personal response, and a redress payment. So far, about 7,000 people have made an application for compensation payments of up to $150,000. But not every institution has signed up to the scheme ahead of a June 30th deadline to do so. So that's their deadline this summer, June 30th. At the moment, about 10% of the applications that we've received from survivors have had to be put on hold because we don't have an organization signed up to match them up to. Social Services Minister Ann Rustin said. The minister said that equated to about 700 abuse survivors. In some cases, the organization no longer existed and state and territory governments were stepping in to be the funder of last resort. Now think about that. We know, I just did a video a couple of weeks ago about the Australian branch starting up a new business. The Australia Asia Video Productions Company Limited. And we know all these businesses have to do is file bankruptcy. Just like the Boy Scouts of America filed bankruptcy. And now we're hearing that the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania Diocese of the Catholic Church is filing bankruptcy also. But see, this is how they get out of paying for all this child abuse problem. See, and Watchtower is so arrogant. Oh, well, it's not our fault. We don't have any separate, child services that you're away from your parents. Yes, you do. It's called field service. And if you don't believe me, go watch the Oxygen documentary again. And I know the same thing happens, in all congregations around the world. Oh, let us take little Johnny out in service. They drop the rest of the car group off in the territory and, I'm going to go over and work on this street. They're gone for an hour or so. You don't know where they are, what they're doing. So yes, they do separate children from their parents. And parents are told to obey the elders. So just hand over your child to the field service group. My goodness. Now this I love because the next subheading is organizations could lose charity status. But Senator Rustin said federal, state, and territory governments were also looking at ways to increase pressure on organizations that were not yet a part of the redress scheme. We will be looking at every option that we have to make sure that an organization that we believe should be signed up is signed up. Go after Watchtower. Give them hell. And if that means that we have to take a big stick approach to it, that's what we'll be doing. Yay. And it's interesting, that just reminded me that there is some JW apologists making comments underneath our videos. And a couple of them were like, oh, you and Mikey are just so happy. You're like a couple of kids, just can't wait to get bad news about Jehovah's Witnesses out. And, we shouldn't be so happy of, the bad things happening to them. And I've heard even Daro's done a video of like, we need to be like Jesus and forgive the pedophiles. So, this is the kind of BS these Jehovah's Witnesses now are starting, to try to defend the organization. Okay, I got a couple of things to say about that. I know I'm digressing away from the article, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, number one, you see this smile on my face? Yes, I'm very glad Watchtower is running and they're scared and they don't know what to do and they're in trouble. I'm happy. And you know why? They break up families. They broke up our family with their shunning policy. Their blood doctrine has killed people. They are hiding pedophiles and the child abuse problem. And they won't join this redress scheme. What does that tell you? They don't care. They're not sorry. Have they issued an apology to all the victims yet? No. So, you know what? Oh, and let's not forget they kill people. People commit suicide because of this. My own little brother did. So yes, this smile on my face, and we can't wait to get news against Watchtower. And you know what? The day they go down, I'm going to have the biggest smile, and that is going to be a very happy day for many of us. We'll probably have a worldwide party. So yeah, we're happy to bring this kind of news about Watchtower. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, back to the article. Her comments come after Swimming Australia confirmed it had not yet joined the scheme. It also has not declared an intention to take that action before the June deadline. But these people who have suffered this trauma deserves this redress, and we will do what needs to be done to make sure they get it. Good. Good. Now, something else I want to mention. Thank you, Bonnie. My goodness. Your videos, they just keep getting better and better. Now, I'm going to put the link down below to a video she did a couple of days ago. It is really good. It is really good because I learned something from the book of Chronicles in the Bible. I always thought Jehovah was the God of Israel. Imagine my shock and surprise to find out he's not. So Watchtower is wrong about that too. He is not the God of Israel. So I put the link down below, and I'm not going to give anything else away because I want you to go watch it. And give all the XJWs a thumbs up because YouTube is using that algorithm of thumbs up and thumbs down for videos, to get recommended. And so we want to help everybody in the XJW community doing videos. And I want to thank all of you so much for your comments. I was reading several of them yesterday, and it's difficult, to go through all of them and give everybody a thumbs up and a heart. So just pretend I gave everybody a heart. So anyway, keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming. And yes, this smile is because I hope someday to be reporting that Watchtower has filed bankruptcy. And so go watch Ugly Watchtower's video because it's interesting to see how this is being financed. Yeah, it's not from voluntary donations. And then I have to ask, if Watchtower is getting millions of pounds from the Jehovah's Witnesses and millions of dollars, where's this money going? Are they paying out on more lawsuits that we don't even know about? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. So you all have a wonderful day. Bye.